Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Wizard101 video. Today, I mentioned this in my last episode of the Wizard101 Let's Play series, which if you haven't checked out, feel free to do so. I pre-upload them, so if you want to become a channel member, you can even get some early. But I digress. I mentioned in the last one, I was like, I want to do a Ranking the Worlds video before and after I do this series, because I feel like it could be very interesting, because I feel like a lot of the times, my opinions of worlds change as I do them, and a lot of these worlds I haven't done for a good 4 or 5 years plus, and I thought it would be interesting to see my opinions now in the beginning of, well, it's September of 2025, but the beginning of the series, and then at the end of the series, which is probably going to be sometime in 2026, and see how much it changes, right? Now, I've done a ranking video pretty much yearly. I do them about yearly. I think the last one was in August of 2024, so it's been a full year since I've done it, so my opinions have changed probably slightly, whether that be from doing the worlds or misremembering the worlds or whatever I'm feeling in the moment. But feel free to, in the comments below, leave what you disagree with, what you agree with. It's always fun to generate discussion, and you know, like, go respond to someone else's comment and be like, hey, why do you like that? That's weird. And judge them harshly. Don't actually do that, because judging people is bad, or so I've heard. But without further ado, I digress. Let's get into the video. So we're starting off with Wizard City, nice and simple. Now, I mentioned this as I was doing it, but I just did Wizard City, so my opinions are pretty firm on it, and they have been for a few years now. I feel like old Wizard City, I would put firmly in the B tier. Like, that's what I would put it. Maybe even an A tier, because it had a lot of nostalgia to it, but it was a perfect opening to the game. It really drew you in with really what this game is, or at least for the first 2 or 3 arcs, where it's a bit of a gritty game, but it has some whimsy to it. It's fun, it's interesting, but it has that kind of darker side to it, and the quests, you know, they're at least very interesting. Nowadays, Wizard City is definitely not what it used to be, because all of the changes they've added to the world, plus the graphics changes, have kind of like removed the nostalgia factor for it. And I'm just gonna flat out say it, all of the changes they've done to Wizard City have really been for the worst. I think the graphics update's good, and I would say that they did a very good job on it, but the changes that they did to the quest lines, I think, are genuinely very bad. Like, the Lizzo Fire Spitter and the Fire Elves being, like, actors in a play, I think is just a flat-out downgrade from trying to free them from their curse, and Private Quinn, his whole friendship with them is basically gone now. They, for some reason, switched Arter and Susie Griffinbane and made it so that you're saving the girl instead of saving the boy, which feels weirdly like an unnecessary change and almost has sexist undertones, which I don't really get, but I'm sure someone at King's Isle can justify that. And then Cyclops Lane, they added a bunny for literally no reason. He's literally like a one-off gag character. I would put Wizard City firmly in D tier nowadays. It's just not what it used to be. Next up is Krokotopia, which I will say, Krokotopia used to be one of my favorite worlds in the game. It has the most nostalgia for me out of any world, because when I was a kid, I used to just sit in Krokotopia for literally days, doing absolutely nothing, and it holds a special place in my heart. But I will admit, now that I'm an adult, and I can look back and be like, okay, Krokotopia isn't actually that good. It's short, but admittedly, it's a lot of quests that don't really have a lot of fun. It's a lot of walking, which nowadays that's been kind of crunched down by the teleporters. But I don't know, there isn't a lot of redeeming about the world. And without the nostalgia with the graphics, with the new graphics that don't have a classic mode, it kind of removed the rest of the nostalgia I had for this world. And the only thing that's left is realistically the music, which is admittedly amazing. But I would put Krokotopia probably in a C tier, because I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's good. It doesn't have a lot going for it, admittedly. Like, besides the fact the vibes and the music, not a lot. So I would put it in C tier. I would say it's not bad, but it's not good. And I'm about halfway through it in the Wizard101 Let's Play series right now. So I would say that this is probably what it's going to end up being post that as well, about a C tier, because it's what I'm kind of thinking about it right now. Like, I like the vibes, I like the music, but it doesn't really have much else going for it. Next up, we have Wisteria, and Wisteria has always been a world that I think has a lot of charm. I like how short it is. It's only like 30 quests long, which means that you can finish it in about an hour and a half to 2. And I think that that lends a lot to the world because it doesn't really overstay its welcome. I think if this world was longer, it would have the potential to be worse. But since it's so short, it's almost inoffensive in a way, and I would put it at B because I do genuinely enjoy doing it every time I do it. I think the tournament aspect of it is unique and interesting, and it feels fun. It introduces you quote unquote to cheating bosses. This is the earliest you can actually find a cheating boss in Wizard101 besides skeleton keys, and I think that's cool. I think the whole Spiral Cup in general is cool, and it has Belladonna Crisp, so I think B tier is fitting. Next up, we have Marleybone, and this is where things get a little dicey because I'm going to be honest with you, I have seen a lot of hate for Marleybone in a lot of my world rankings, and I've seen it on like Reddit rankings. Like, a lot of people don't like Marleybone, but I'm going to come out and say it. If you don't like Marleybone, I really don't know what's wrong with you, because the vibe of the world's amazing. It's an incredibly short world, but still has a few challenges like Big Ben in it. I feel like it's so inoffensive that if you have a problem with Marleybone, like if you genuinely hate it, I don't know what, like why? Like, why do you hate it? Because I feel like there's nothing to hate about it. The only thing I've seen that people say they hate about it is getting dragged by enemies all the time from the streets, and that, I'm gonna say, is just a massive skill issue. If you're getting dragged by enemies in Marleybone, that's on you. It's a skill issue, because I don't get dragged at all, except for maybe in like Kensington Park. I think that's what it's called, right? Kensington Court, which that's a side dungeon that's designed for high levels. So I don't know. But to me, Marleybone has always been an S tier world, and I'll probably keep it at S tier. I think it's inoffensive, and I genuinely enjoy doing it. Every time I get to Marleybone, I'm like, hell yeah, this is a good world. So I'm going to put it in S tier. And you know what? Feel free to argue with me in the comments below. Next up is Mushu. And this is another world that people don't really like. And unlike Marleybone, I do kind of get the complaints for this one. Mushu, first off, is absolutely ugly as sin. Like, it is offensive on the eyes. The hue of the grass is way too bright, and it does genuinely hurt the eyes. The bamboo looks really ugly on the side of the street, and I think the main issue with Mushu is that you know it can be so much better, because if you've ever played Pirate 101 Mushu, Pirate 101 Mushu is beautiful. It's probably the most beautiful world in Pirate 101, and it really just like contrasts with Wizard 101 Mushu, because it makes you think like, wow, this could be so much better. But counter that, I'm gonna say that the vibes of Mushu are great. It's a fun, genuinely fun world in terms of the bosses and the characters in it, and I feel like it does a really good job, especially like when you're a kid and it's a new world to you, of drawing you in. Like, this has always been one of my favorite worlds personally, but I do get the gripes with it. I think that it could look significantly better. It does look very ugly. So I'm gonna put Mushu in A tier. Now, one complaint I have heard about Mushu is I have heard people say that there's a lot of walking, which in that case, just use the teleporters. That's probably also a skill issue, but otherwise, I don't know. I think Mushu, it doesn't have a lot to complain about, I would say. It's fun, it's entertaining. The only problem is it's ugly. If I genuinely think if KingsIsle retextured it and made it look more like Pirate 101 Mushu, most people would probably have it pretty high, like on their list of worlds, like top 5, I would say. Next up is Dragonspyre, and Dragonspyre, for me, has the problem that a lot of people have with Mushu. This world is ugly, and I hate how ugly it is, because it looks bleak, it looks barren, the lava textures are ugly, but I do think it is the best arc finale world. Out of all of the final worlds of an arc, so Dragonspyre, Chrysalis, Empyrea, and Wallaru, I think that this one does the arc finale vibe the best. Like, it does feel like the climax of an arc, and I do think that it has that going for it. I do think the aesthetics are cool, not like on top of the fact that they're ugly. They are cool, but I do have a few problems with Dragonspyre. One being that there are way too many towers in it, which like there's like 7 to 8 different tower dungeons, which suck. I don't think it's really offensive though. I just don't think that it's one of my favorite worlds. I would probably put it in a B tier. I think it's got a lot going for it, and if they did a graphics update, I would put it in A or to S tier, but it is ugly, and I do genuinely not enjoy being there. So I'll put it there. Next up is Grizzleheim. Now, Grizzleheim, I believe in this tier list, is combined with Wintertusk, but I am going to say I have a controversial opinion about Grizzleheim. I'll fess it up. A lot of people like Grizzleheim. I don't like Grizzleheim. I mean, okay, a lot of people like Wintertusk. I don't like Grizzleheim, and I don't really like Wintertusk. I would say that Wintertusk is miles better than Grizzleheim, because Grizzleheim has a few problems where it's long, it's boring, it's very difficult, and the main thing is it doesn't give any XP, so there's really no like motivation to do it. But Wintertusk gives a ton of XP, but it's also very difficult. Now, I would probably genuinely put Grizzleheim at like D or F tier because I don't enjoy it. Like, I like the aesthetic of the world, but that's literally it. Every time I go to Grizzleheim, I no longer want to play Wizard 101. So I would put it in a D or F. But Wintertusk is a bit better, and I'd put it at B. So I think that that's going to even out with Grizzleheim being a C tier. Next up is Celestia, and here we have another controversial opinion. I like Celestia. I think Celestia is a good world, and I think that ever since they nerfed the health of the enemies, it's become significantly less challenging, which I think actually makes it more enjoyable rather than less enjoyable. I think some of the nerfs that they've done to bosses made worlds less enjoyable. Celestia is not one of those. The most major problem with Celestia is that it has a few really long streets that make the world feel much longer. Crustacean Empire takes an hour. Like, even if you're boosting yourself with a max level character, it still takes an hour. That's how long that street is. And that's funny because Celestia itself is probably only about 7-8 hours long. So Crustacean Empire takes a solid bit of it, like a good 20%, a little bit less than that, of Celestia is Crustacean Empire. But otherwise, Celestia introduced Astral Magic, it introduces Critical, your character has kind of a power spike because it's usually around when you get Waterworks gear. I don't know, I think Celestia is fun, the music is amazing, the aesthetic is fun, and I like it. I don't know what else to say other than that. I'm going to put it in A tier. Next up is Zafaria, and I think Zafaria is a toughie for me because depending on the times I do it, sometimes I enjoy it, sometimes I don't. Zafaria is not long, but Drum Jungle is long. Drum Jungle and Elephant Graveyard really feel like a slog because it kind of is like a quarter plus of Zafaria. I think the vibe is really good, and it is a fun world. Like, the music is great. It really sucks you in. The atmosphere is good. In that regard, I think it does well. But I think it's not the most engaging in terms of quests or enemies, and it kind of drags on a bit. So I would say Zafaria for me is like a C tier. I think it fits in with these worlds where, like, I like them, but I don't enjoy doing them that much, I would say, is what C tier is for me. Like, I do like these worlds, I just don't really enjoy doing them all that much. Next up is Avalon, and I will say, I used to love Avalon. Avalon used to be my favorite world in the game for a very long time, but the last, like, 4 to 5 times I've done Avalon, I haven't enjoyed it like a single time. It's a very long world. There is quite a bit of walking because there's not teleporters, which is a bit of a problem. Some of the bosses aren't like difficult, but like at that level they're difficult, and I don't know, this world, it kind of lost some of its appeal to me over time. And I will say it does have a similar problem to Mushu, just not as bad, where it does look a little ugly. So I would put it at probably like a high B or bottom of A. I'm gonna put it in a B tier. I think that depending on the day, it could go into like a low A tier. Like, I like it less than I like the A tier worlds, but I do like it more than I like the B tier worlds, to just put it into perspective. I've always had the problem with the fact that you spend the entire world hunting down the Sword of Kings, and then you end up getting the Sword of Kings, and it ends up being really bad. And that's always bothered me, because it's supposed to be really good. Like, it's spoken of as the weapon you're going to use to defeat Morgana. But guess what? You instantly either hang it up in your house or trash it because it is so bad that there's no point in using it. Like, the Skyrim Hasta, a level 30 item, is better than this like level 80 wand that is supposed to be what you use to defeat Morgana. So that's like a double thumbs down from me from that, in that regard. If they changed the Sword of Kings, I think that itself might put the world into A tier for me, genuinely. If they changed it so it was like a level 80 tier wand, like gives like, you know, 12 plus damage, I think that'd be pretty good. I don't know, KingCell. I think that would be a good idea. Phone me. I got some ideas. Next up is Azteca, and let's be honest, you know where Azteca is going. Azteca is a world that I think is massively held back by the fact that it is ungodly long. Like, there's 200 quests, I think, in Azteca, give or take a little bit, and about 50 of those could be cut out, and it would make Azteca, like, genuinely, maybe not enjoyable, but much more enjoyable than what it currently is. You see everyone out there talk about Azteca and talk about the fact that it sucks, and it's for good reason. Azteca's long, it's drawn out, it has a lot of boss fights that either have 2 bosses or the boss has a mastery of a secondary school, and it does not tell you that at all. So like you'll have life enemies using Storm Owl and doing 2,000 damage to you first round because every enemy starts with 12 pips. It's just not very enjoyable. It's like, I don't know, I've never enjoyed doing Azteca. There are some streets that I think are okay, but overall it's unenjoyable. And I've said this before, and I'll say it probably again in the future, but there is a section of Azteca, like after you do Salt Meadow Swamp and before you do Zoltan Dock, there's like a 50 quest interlude there that could just entirely be scrapped or like taken out or cut down at the very least. There's like 10 plus defeat and collect quests in that time between Zoltan Dock, and it makes the world feel so long. My chair just sounded like it almost broke. That was concerning. If you cut out those quests, it would probably remove a good 3+ hours from Azteca, and you wouldn't miss anything story-wise. So I don't know. I've always been in the opinion, if you just remove that, like, it becomes much better. Unfortunately, Azteca gets the F tier for me. The best part about Azteca is the fact that it gets destroyed in the end, to be honest. I think it's very cathartic that it gets exploded in the end. Next up, we have Aquila, and Aquila is not entirely a world. It's on the world tier list because technically it is, but it's not really a world because there's only a few boss fights, a few dungeons. I will say I haven't done Aquila since they changed Aquila, since they added like the pity system and they added another boss, I believe, to Aquila. I haven't done it since then, but I will say Aquila is a world where it's like, it's not really a world. It's like, I would probably put it at the bottom of B or the top of C. I'm going to put it at the top of C because I think that that is more in line with these worlds. Like, I don't really enjoy doing them, but I like the aesthetic and the vibe of them. Like, I do like the world, I just don't enjoy them. So I'd probably put it in a C tier. It's like, all right, but let's be honest, you're not enjoying what you're there for. Like, especially with the new pity system where you have to beat Zeus 35 times to be able to craft the gear, which is ridiculous, by the way. It should be at most 20, but it is 35, which if you have max levels carrying you through Mount Olympus, the run will still take about 30 minutes because there's so much walking that you can't avoid. I didn't even get started on Atlantia and Tartarus, which I both think are also just about as enjoyable as Mount Olympus, which is to say not really at all. So I'll put it in a C tier. I think that that's a fair assessment of Aquila. That's where I'd put it. Fight me if you want. Next up, we have Chrysalis, and Chrysalis is very different than it used to be for me because I will admit, I think Chrysalis is massively held down by Chrysalis Part 1. I think Chrysalis Part 1 is just ungodly long, and it makes this world that could be a very climactic arc finale feel like 5 worlds in one. Like, if I were to separate Chrysalis Part 1 and Part 2, I would put Chrysalis Part 1 in like D or F tier, and Chrysalis Part 2 in probably A tier, maybe S tier on a good day. Chrysalis has 277 quests, if I remember correctly, which, to put into perspective, that is like Avalon and Azteca put together, or if I add up the Arc 1 worlds, I think that's pretty much every Arc 1 world put together. So Chrysalis by itself is Arc 1 in length. That's how long Chrysalis is. So Chrysalis, I'm going to put it into high C, low B, because I do think genuinely it is a good world, and it has its charm, it has the characters, it needs to be cut down. Like, KingsIsle needs to look at it and be like, does this quest need to exist, and cut it up a little bit. Because there's no universe where this world should have 277 quests. Next up is Polaris, and everyone knows that Polaris is the best world. Polaris is the best world. It simply is. I don't know what else to say other than that. It really revitalized Wizard101. I remember when it came out, it was like super hype because we just got off of Chrysalis, which was way too long. We're in a new arc. Morgantha's gone. They cut down the enemy's health. They added a little bit more interesting cheats to compensate for that, and they cut down the quests massively. Like, I think Polaris is about 100 quests long, which is so much better than what Chrysalis was. Really, it just felt like a revitalization of the game, and it introduced a lot to the game. Like, it introduced Arc 3, which I think Arc 3, personally, is the strongest of the 3 arcs. I think it really lends well in that regard. The rat is pretty interesting. The characters are really cool. Like, Ivan is amazing. Mallory is okay. I don't know. I think it's interesting. It introduces the Arcanum as well, which is right down here, which I'll also throw into C tier because it's the Arcanum. You know what? I'm actually going to add another row below. I'm going to call this unranked. And or apparently I'm going to call it unraked. It is unraked. Perfect. I'm going to put this as purple. Perfect. Unraked for the Tale of Four Dungeons and the Arcanum, because let's be honest, you can't really rank the Arcanum. It's not really a world, but it introduced the Arcanum, gave us a new professor. We graduated from Ravenwood School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. So I'm going to put an S tier. I feel like most people would probably agree with that. I think the revolution aspect, the French Revolution mixed with the Russian Revolution, is cool in terms of vibe and aesthetic. I don't know. I think it's an S. I think most people would agree with that. Next up, we have Mirage. And Mirage is a world that I do genuinely enjoy. I wouldn't put it in S tier, but I do think it's really good. It has just some of the best vibes in the game. Maybe it's just my love for desert areas in games, but I think it's really good. And the best part about Mirage, which a lot of you might not have experienced if you don't pay attention to this, is the characters. This world has some of the best characters in Wizard101. It has Ozymandias, which is cool. He's like a bro, let's be honest. Amazing guy. We got the Sultana, which is cool. Amazing woman. Sorry, I just fell into that rhythm of describing characters like that. There are more characters. I'm trying to think of them, but I can't. But there are more. There is Ishtar, which I know a lot of people don't like, but I think it's forgivable with the other good characters that are introduced in this world. You fight Old Cobb in this world, which I think is really cool. It's like almost a subversion of expectations. Like you fight the big boss in the second world of the arc instead of the third world, which I think is just, I don't know. I think it's really cool. I think that this world has a lot going for it, and I've never not enjoyed my time in Mirage, I will say. So I think A tier is pretty good for Mirage, and I hope that at least someone out there agrees with me. Next up, we have Empyrea, and Empyrea is very similar to Chrysalis. It has a decent part 2, but a meh part 1. And I will, I'm just gonna put it right next to Chrysalis because I feel like these worlds in my head are very, very similar. Like, I don't enjoy doing Arc 1. It feels like a slog. You get to Arc 2, and it feels much better and much more climactic, but I still don't think that that's enough to put it higher than that. So I'm gonna put it in the C tier. I think that that's fair. It has some cool characters as well and cool music, but it's, I don't know, it feels like that's not enough to make up for the issues that come with the world, which is how long it is. Like Arc 1 feels, it is like 200 quests long. It has some really annoying cheating bosses that are just I don't know. That's always what I thought about Empyrea. It's whatever. All right, next up we have the Catacombs, and I'm gonna actually throw the Catacombs into F tier because I'm gonna be honest, the Catacombs is just not enjoyable. They were trying to add a new area to the game that was very difficult, had many different bosses with different cheats, and they've gotten to a point with the cheats in the Catacombs where I just don't enjoy doing a single boss. Like, I remember I farmed for Dragoon gear from, what's that guy? The big trash guy? I don't remember his name, actually. King Detritus. I farmed for that, and his cheats were okay, but I have done most of the other bosses in the Catacombs, and it's just, they're not enjoyable. No one does them because it's not worth getting Dragoon gear anymore, and it just feels like a slog and pain of a world. It gives me a headache. I don't enjoy it, and I never will enjoy it. So I'm putting it in F tier where it belongs, right next to Azteca, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, I think the Catacombs is worse than Azteca. Next up, we have Karamelle, which is the start to Arc 4, and I'm coming in with a hot take. I think Karamelle is a fantastic world, and a lot of people don't agree with that. A lot of people see the kind of candy, childish aesthetic and instantly hate it, but this world is good. And if you think it's not good, then you haven't been paying attention when doing the world. You look very surface level at a world and just instantly write it off. But I'm telling you right now, if you enjoy the story, if you enjoy characters, if you enjoy playing this game beyond just spam clicking spells to get every character you have to level 170, this world you will enjoy. This world is good. It has fun cheats on certain bosses. It has fun characters. It has a really intriguing story hidden underneath a layer of like kind of horror to it, because this world, the whole point of it is the fact that it is overtaken by this happy joy aesthetic. This world is Disneyland if Mickey Mouse was killing people on Thunder Mountain, which he might be. I don't know. I've never been there. I feel like a lot of the people at the time were complaining about the fact that it seemed a bit more childish. So Kingsaw was like, all right, okay, we'll show you childish. And they wrapped a genuinely interesting world and has an interesting commentary on certain things. I don't know. This world is just so good. Anyone that thinks it's not good, they have something wrong with them. I'm just gonna say it. Next up, we have Lemuria, and Lemuria, for me, has always been an extremely meh world. The whole idea of the world is that it is a conglomeration of worlds we've been to, and design has kind of designed it to be a kind of reminiscing of things and taking other things, putting them all together. There's some fun characters, but this world just isn't really that fun. I'm not gonna lie to you, it just isn't fun. I just don't enjoy it. Most of the streets, I think, are I don't like them, but I think Heap is one of the coolest areas in this game, so it's got that going for it. But otherwise, nah, I don't know. It's just not, it doesn't make, like, the characters don't make up for the fact that it's like just really a boring world that doesn't have a lot going for it. D tier is where I think it belongs. I think that that's fair. Moving on, we got Novus, and Novus is a world that I think is quite interesting because it's literally what I just said about Lemuria. It's a conglomeration of other worlds, except it goes a step beyond that because it is 4 factions from other worlds fighting over land. Basically, it's the colonizers, and they've come to take land. This world, I think, is genuinely fun and genuinely interesting. It has some cool stuff going for it, but I don't think that it really stands out as anything too special. I'd put it like the bottom of B tier. I think I enjoy doing it more than I would enjoy doing all the worlds in C tier, but I don't like it as much as some of these other worlds above it. I don't know, it's a B tier. I think it's all right. Wallaru. This is the first world ranking list where I think I've ranked Wallaru. I could be wrong. It could have been on the last one. I'm not sure. Wallaru, for me, I've only done it twice, I believe, but it's kind of hard to decide because I think Wallaru is interesting. It's got some stuff going for it. I like kind of the idea behind the story of the world, but I'm gonna come out and say it does not feel like an arc finale world. Like, if you look at the rest of the arc finale world, like Dragonspyre, Chrysalis, and Empyrea, Wallaru just doesn't fit. Those other 3 worlds really have they feel like a climactic finish. Like, it is the epitome. It's everything that we've been leading up to for the rest of the arc. This world doesn't feel like that. It just feels like kind of another world, and it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't really have a lot going for it. It's like, whatever. It doesn't have much more than that. I can't even say anything about it because I just feel like it's not doing much in general. I think the thing it has going for it is like the new AoE spells that everyone got. That's like the best thing we got out of Wallaru. Otherwise, the characters, pretty forgettable. Realistically, I would say. I don't even remember most of them. It's okay. Malice sucks. I'm gonna put it in a D tier. I think the problem with it is, like, I don't, like, all of these worlds in C tier, I said it before, I like them, but I don't enjoy doing them. The D tier worlds, I don't enjoy doing them, and I don't really like them. And I think that that's where Wallaru goes. Like, I don't really enjoy doing it, and I don't really like it. If I were to just, like, kind of do that for the rest of these, like how I describe C tier, S tier are, like, the worlds I love and I think are the best worlds in the game. A tier are the worlds I like and I enjoy doing. B tier are the worlds I like, but I don't think they have something holding it back for all of them. Like, there's something that isn't there that, like, makes me not really like it. C tier, I like the vibe of the world, but I don't enjoy doing it, which is what separates it from B tier. D tier, I don't like it and I don't enjoy doing it. And then F tier are the ones I just really dislike and I don't think that I would ever enjoy doing. So that's it for today, I think. That's what I would rank all of the Wizard101 worlds before doing them in the Let's Play series. Again, that's kind of what I'm going for with the vibe of this. I'm going to do another one in 2026 when I'm done with the series and see how it shuffles around. Like, I want to see, you know, will I really enjoy doing, like, Dragonspyre maybe? Like, maybe Dragonspyre will be my favorite world upon replay. Some of these worlds, like, especially some of the Arc 2 worlds, like Celestia, Zafaria, Avalon, I haven't done in 5+ years. Legitimately 5 years. Which is a long time. That's a full half a decade ago. Kind of crazy. Anyways, that's gonna be it for today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know your ranking or anything you agree or disagree with. But otherwise, I think I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a fantastic day. Thank you all for watching.